Welcome to this video in the Menopause Queen series. In this one, we're going to talk about meditation and what is the importance of meditation during the menopause. How can this actually physically and energetically help you in this phase of your life? Meditation is one of those things that is bandied around a lot nowadays. It's much more well known than it used to be. I have been teaching meditation for 25 years now, but believe me, meditation was not at all in my portfolio of practices as I was growing up. I am a child of the 70s and then obviously a teenager of the 80s and a young adult of the 90s. This was a no pain, no gain era, and meditation was so far from your bag of tools. It was just not there. It was a complete no-no. And whenever did you see a video of meditation and yoga at that time? Like never. And when I started my path of yoga, I started it with Ashtanga yoga, which doesn't really contain meditation. It's a very dynamic form of yoga. It's a very masculine energy. It's a really push forwards, linear type of energy. So meditation wasn't in that at all. And yet it did start to bring me a little awareness of how tight my body was, and also how tight and stressed my mind was. And during the course of the yoga practice, my mind would soften. That's the best word for it. My mind would soften. I'd start off being very focused and concentrated on what I was doing, and then my mind would kind of take a step back and go, oh, this is quite nice actually. I'm not actually thinking about the millions of other things that are going on in my life at the moment. I'm not even actually thinking about how much pain my body is going through. Bit by bit, I realized that the fact that I was breathing and focusing on my breath was having an effect on my physical body and therefore on my nervous system, on my parasympathetic nervous system. Fast forward a little bit and I started to bring in meditation. I started to see that this was quite a good parallel to the physical practice. And at the end of my little practice, sometimes when I was on my own in a hotel room, because I had a really stressful job at the time, I was traveling around all over Europe as a sales director in IT, I would add a little meditation. In the morning, I would go on a run in the park, and at the end of the run, I would add just a few moments of breathing and meditation. And I started to notice the difference in terms of my concentration, in terms of my ability to tackle stressful situations, and also on the fact that my body was less in pain than it would otherwise be in terms of the stress I was doing, in terms of the training that I was doing at the time. I was training for marathons and ultra marathons and half marathons, and so I was doing an awful lot of physical training. But I noticed that the yoga and the meditation combined really helped my physical and mental and energetic state. So I'm now going to fast forward massively. So 25 years of teaching yoga and meditation later. And then the latter part of that was my menopause journey. And I have to say, I increased my level of meditation and I decreased my level of physical yoga practice. Or my physical yoga practice became a little bit easier, a little bit softer, a little bit simpler, and just very naturally slower. It had already gone down that path in my 40s, and as I reached my 50s, it was very much just soften, Charlotte. Just do a little bit less and go a little bit slower. But the need for meditation increased. I needed space. I needed quiet. I needed a time in the day, but particularly in the morning before I started the day, to just soften everything and tune in to myself. Now, that was either in my home or outside. I have a little cushion just outside of my front door, and I'd sit on the cushion and I'd look out into the sky, into the forest, into the mountains. Sometimes I would actually go walking into the forest to meditate. I'm super lucky where I live. I have trees, forests, paths, everything all around my home. That was my choice many years ago. And I decided that I would make that a regular part of my menopause journey. The 5 minutes and 10 minutes sometimes turned into 20 or 30 minutes. Some days I didn't even have time to do any physical yoga practice because I'd used my time slot up for the meditation. But it was so needed for various reasons. And I'm going to give you those reasons now. So the first reason was the one I've just given you. I needed quiet and I needed space. It was a physical, visceral need. It was a mental need. It was an energetic need. I needed space. I needed to sit with myself and have no constraints and barriers and nothing else going on. I just needed that time and space. Then, the second part. I felt an awful lot of anger during my menopause. And the meditation helped me ease that anger. Now, I don't know where that anger was coming from, apart from the hormonal shifts, but I was pretty angry with, I would say, every member of my family and my step family. I think I was angry for many generations of women before me. All the ancestral anger was coming out. It doesn't really matter, but I was super angry a lot of the time. And of course, it wasn't anyone's fault around me. I was the one changing. They weren't changing. But everything and anything that they did was annoying to me. So I needed that space in the morning to just go, whew. I just need to realign with what is real, what I need, and today even, and what I need going forwards. The third reason was very much to tune in to what I've just said, my needs. So every day during the menopause, it felt like it was different. And some days were fabulous, as if, everything was right and perfect and riding on a wave of gloriousness. And other days it was just terrible. And so that 10, 15, 30 minutes on my own in the morning, just breathing, just sitting, sometimes eyes open, sometimes eyes closed, and tuning in to what was needed within to work out what I could do without. So what were my internal needs? What was my body telling me? What was my nervous system telling me? And therefore, what could I do? What should I do to balance that out? Because really, all we're looking to do in anything that we do is find that homeostasis, is to find that balance and harmony. That is it, really. That's all. And so those moments of meditation were there for that very reason for me. To tune into my nervous system and to balance things out in the day ahead. And the final thing that I got from my meditative moments, yes, a little bit of peace of mind, was clarity. Because very often, as I sat in meditation, I was a little bit like Julia Roberts in Eat, Pray, Love. I was redecorating rooms and I was doing all sorts of stuff. But actually at the end of it, there was a clear message that would come out of what I wanted, what was right and aligned for me. Now, it might just have been for that 24 hours ahead, but sometimes it was actually for a much wider and longer vision of things. So clarity, which, believe me, very often during the menopause is quite a hard thing to find because the brain fog just kicks in there and you're like, what? I can't even see what the day's doing, let alone work out what I need. But the moments of meditation are there for that. They're to just take a break, to tune in and breathe. Give yourself some oxygen, oxygenate your heart, because that's needed as well during the menopause. To just restock and realign. Now, if you don't know how to meditate, if you've never done it before, do not worry or fret. On this channel, you have plenty of meditations that are either already available or will be available to help you with different states. And I think the easiest way is to find a quiet spot that you feel comfortable in. Sit yourself down either on a chair or on the floor. The idea is to have a nice straight spine, just so that your heart can breathe and open. And don't bring your head back too far or forwards or too far back. Just sit the head on the shoulders and relax the shoulders. And the easiest thing to do is to close your eyes and to just breathe and to count your breath. So as you're inhaling, you're counting to 4 or 5. And as you're exhaling, you're counting to 4 or 5. And you just repeat that. You create concentration, inhaling and exhaling. And just keep doing that. And even if in the day something is really annoying you, 3 breaths, eyes closed or open, with full concentration on the breath, and things actually do just calm themselves down. I hope this video helps you to at least open the door to the idea that some form of regular meditation will truly help you in this pretty frustrating up and down hormonal ride that is the menopause.